Hey everyone, welcome back to a rather chill, relaxed, late night DecompresSean Cast. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are once again. Another month comes by. I'm sorry that this one is a tad late, but I really have been hitting the grindstone and, Sigma male grind set and all that. But I'll just say that, I've been hard at work. And there's lots to talk about this month, let's just say. First things first, let's follow up on anything bad, dumb, or just outright wrong that I said on the last DecompresSean Cast. That being, once again, as usual, I had a slightly overly optimistic tone in regards to, I thought that I could release the lecture this month, which was just not possible at all. I would say there's a multitude of reasons for that. Still don't have the images from Simon and Kajoro. If you would like to go harass them about that, for reasons, they're busy. They're doing things too. But that is certainly one thing. I would say that honestly, with you guys, let's just switch it up for this DecompresSean. Let's get into lecture stuff first, since I'm already on that, okay? And that's to say that I finished most of the editing. The editing was probably done in July, about a week ago, almost now. There's some minor things I'm doing here and there, some polish, some audio stuff. Probably going to do a test upload at some point. I mean, I haven't even rendered it quite yet. But that's just to say that most of the, the skeleton, the bare bones of the editing is done. I'm hoping that you guys are excited for that announcement. Lecture's done, it's edited. Now it's just for that polish, last few images, last few video clips, last few bits, sketches, memes. All that stuff is basically what's required. And I'll be honest with you guys, like I said, editing's done. The completion, I would say that it's probably 85 to 90% there. It's so close. It just needs that extra oomph to get it over the finish line, I would say. And, I think I have a title in mind for the most part. Still getting some opinions on that. I was asking about that today, actually, August 4th. I would say that, that was an interesting topic of discussion to theorize and philosophize about with the lads, the pronoun boys and gals. And, so, another thing, the lecture is I actually initiated at least one more commission. I think it might be my last one, but I'm not super certain on that because, I have just gotten more money from doing chores and stuff. And if no one was aware, I'm just going to make this another little mini announcement here, is that I am rendering, specifically, the audio waveforms for Shreddit and getting compensated for that. And obviously it's a very low amount because it does not involve editing at all. It is linking and rendering audio waveforms for them. And I'll be honest with you guys, I've never watched an episode of Shreddit before. All I've done is drag their files into my thing, bish bash bosh, link them up, make sure they look okay, give them some adjustments, and render and hit send after. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, obviously. I'm exaggerating and whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of another thing I've been doing. Also, chores, like I said. So I've been kind of slowly staying afloat in terms of money, but that's another thing I'll just dip into really briefly, is that I still don't have a job. I applied for 3 places, so 2 additional after the last DecompresSean rather. And finally, like 2 days ago or something, I got follow-up on that first one. And it was unfortunate. They liked my background, but they did not choose me to move on for that one. So I'll still wait to hear about these other two. And yeah, so I would say that job stuff has, although been a little demoralizing in an aspect, it does push me to make the most out of my time, and like I said, I basically edited more or less the entire lecture like in a month. Like, yeah, I was doing things before. Most of that stuff was just like syncing. I believe I talked about that, oodles, and previous DecompresSean Cast. But this was like actual editing, cutting out stuff, cutting in stuff like images, sound effects, relevant, imagery, people's commissions, all that epic stuff. Everyone for the, I'll just let you guys know right now, cool little editing thing is every single person, the first time that their image comes up, there's a little text I put on that's like art by person. So that'll be sick. So all the commissions you see, everyone will be credited. Everyone, will have links, and I'll even have extended credits in the description. I'm probably gonna have a very complex and long description for the lecture, because not only is the lecture done edited, I will be honest with you guys. This is a DecompresSean first announcement. If you're listening to this, I would say that I have a date in mind for the lecture. I would say that it is probably a lot sooner than you think, and it'll be in your box, in your little sub box, before you know it, lads. And I would say that, like I said, those commissions are kind of like one of the last things I'm waiting for. Like I said, later in this month, I'm going to be doing like the final, skits and quips and bits and editing and little things for that stuff too. So that's kind of a broad overview of what's still needed, really, in the timetable, without really giving anything away. I would say that the idea of guests is probably phased out and would take too long at this point. And that I'm almost there. We're almost there, lads. We're almost there. And, like I've done with probably the last handful of decompressions, I will show a screenshot of the Premiere timeline. And you will see that there's a vast difference. And I'll actually have the last / previous screenshot of the timeline on screens, maybe so you can compare. And the fact that it is a lot more obvious that, the lecture is basically fully edited and ready. You guys will be able to tell right away by that image. And yeah, there it is. It's the lecture update. It is almost here. We're kind of in the final stretch, to be honest. I would say that it's been a journey. It's been quite the journey we've had here. And I am excited. I am excited to finally kind of iron out the things and stuff I've been talking about and hyping up all this time. It's almost here. It's almost here. But yeah, what about myself? Other than lecture stuff, I would say that there's a lot of other things that I've been up to. I've been enjoying. I've been having fun with. We'll just go in order of my little list here. I would say that something I've really enjoyed is D&D. D&D, when we can play it, and is really fun. I would say that, leveling, fun, very fun. I really like the RPG number go up, aspect of D&D, leveling, your character and like being able to just do more things, shows a sense of progression. And I find that helpful in our little personal One Piece D&D type of game, is that, when we and after we fought a challenging opponent, we had growth, right? We had progression, we had visible things. And another awesome part about D&D for me is like, this is my first game ever. And I also cleared up in one time in a call with Simon and some others, just what I could do. Because I think for like a decent amount of sessions, maybe I understood it at first, and maybe I just either forgot, or maybe I just didn't understand from the beginning, but I finally have a better sense and idea of what I actually like can do, like in a turn and whatnot. And that's just been really fun for me. Kind of also crafting like this character in my head, what I want them to do, how I want them to act. That stuff's been a lot of fun, I would say. And yeah, I really like D&D, and I wish we could play it more often, but we cannot, alas, because there's a moderate amount of people involved, and getting them in the same place at the same time is often challenging, because of time zones and whatnot. People in Australia, people in Morocco, and people all over America. Let's just say, and those things are challenging to nail down. Always remember, though, lads, to stay hydrated. That's important. Yeah, you're listening to this DecompresSean Cast here, but have you drank enough water today? Have you drunk enough water? I believe is probably the more apt way to say that. But that being said, what else besides D&D being fun? Last DecompresSean, I actually believe I had another fuck up, but it relates to this. I believe I said that my degree was on its way. But get this, because of the way it just all kind of worked out, and because things took so long with my like advisor and like the department head, the degree technically comes at the end of the summer quarter, which will basically be the end of this month. So by the next DecompresSean, I should have that quirky piece of paper, that quirky associate's degree. Which, that was something that was obviously kind of frustrating to hear and go through, because I really was expecting to have it sooner rather than later, but it's not a big deal, I would say. And this actually relates to another different thing I wanted to talk about. Small topic change, that being another DecompresSean-based announcement. I would like to record episode 13 live with my face, and it will also be a Q&A, okay? Next DecompresSean Q&A. Leave your questions in the comments. You could even DM me them on Discord, I guess. I don't know, I don't put my Discord in the comments now, do I? But I suppose you could, if you have me friended or whatever, ask me a question. That is something that I will do for the next DecompresSean. It'll also probably be multi-purpose. That being, I'll probably answer questions about the lecture, because it should be out by then, actually. And there's another little hint if you want to try and brainstorm the date. And I would say that probably don't expect the DecompresSean to be at the end of this month, probably beginning of next month for episode 13. And I'll do that one where you guys can see my face. And I think it'll be time again, rather than seeing this quirky little avatar in the waveform here. I figured, I've kind of released a lot of, solo podcasts, not really a whole lot else, and you guys probably deserve kind of a weird word to use, I guess, but I should probably show my face again. It'll probably be time by then. So yeah, episode 13 will be a Q&A. Leave your questions in the comments. Thanks. What else, lads? Next topic. Here we go. We're just moving right along through our topics here, and nice and smooth. One big topic of the last DecompresSean was Smite. I talked a pretty decent amount, really, about Smite. And I would say that having a month now, roughly, of Smite without boots has been Kino. I'll just say it right now, has been Kino. It just feels a lot better to play almost all characters, I would say. Fitting anti-heal into my mage builds, way easier. The variants of mage builds, absolutely insane, absolutely crazy, I would say. I've seen a lot of interesting builds. Some have honestly made me even question my own builds, seeing what some of the pros are doing. And I'm still keeping up with the SPL. And I would say that it's just a very interesting time to be a Smite fan, and it almost always is, because between this episode and last DecompresSean, there was another roster apocalypse, mid-season roster apocalypse, if you can believe that. And just a lot of insane movements. Some teams getting nerfed, some teams getting huge buffs. I would say that a really good jungler kind of cucked himself out of the league in some people's eyes by some really nasty team environment, drama stuff, comments on how clean people's bathrooms were, which was unsmite related, but also funny and based, because it was like one of the junglers was commenting, actually had video proof. I know, as insane as that sounds, and as bad as that sounds, that if people questioned him, he really showed how the team, one of the team apartments was just in shambles, just really was a pigsty, if we're being frank. I mean, I know that I personally do not utilize my space to the fullest with keeping it the most neat or organized or clean of stuff, but I do clean shit. I'm a big de-duster. Recently I would say I did another sesh before a lot of people came over. Cleaning your room's important, lads. I'll just say that right now. Cleaning your room, you filthy animals, you just gotta clean your room. I'd say de-dusting is probably not the highest of priority, but I would say it's moderately high. I would say keeping boxes, plates, cups, and that kind of thing out of your room is pretty key. I would say, keeping your shit organized, lads. I'd say, that was one theme of one of the older decompressions, was the Jordan Peterson clean your room meme. He is a meme man, but that is good advice. A healthy, clean workplace, I would say, aids in a clear state of mind, and that's something that certainly helped me. I would say that editing this entire lecture in 1 month, I'd say that cleaning your space, obviously not you could say, oh wait, wow, you could spend that time editing or whatever, but when you're just thinking about things, it just keeps you more focused. That's all I'll say, is in that regard, really, is you're more honed in. You're not thinking about the dust on your fucking desk. You're not thinking about how gnarly your fan is or whatever, that kind of thing. Keep your shit clean and organized, lads. That's fucking key. Sigma grind set right there, I would say. Honestly, though, I have more stuff to say about Smite. One thing, actually, that I mentioned in the last episode was I was interested to see how they are going to do this next god, Tribdis, I believe. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but I'm happy to report, based high res, it is a freaking little girl, boys. We did it. They are similar to Scylla, like I was saying. They seem epic, and the update show for that is actually tomorrow. So by the time this comes out, I'm probably either going to be watching that, or it'll be have been done. I'm really interested to see what kind of character they are. They seem kind of like an assassin. I'm not really too sure, honestly. I'm not really too certain on that. All I know is that, they're going to be a new character, Scylla related. I'm probably going to try to play them a lot, depending on their role, I would say. And, if they're a mage, obviously that's going to be like a new main if they're a mage. I don't think they're going to be a mage, though. They already released 2 mages this year. My guess is assassin. They kind of wielded like a small sword or dagger looking thing, so that's kind of why I'm guessing that. Speaking of, though, I would say Morgan Le Fay, the new god, I absolutely based. They were my thumbnail on the right side of the last one. I would say that they're a really fun character, and I would say that they're pretty balanced, in all honesty. They might seem a little strong, but they gave her kind of like a slap on the wrist nerf, turned down some scaling on her 1, I believe, in the last patch. And I would say that, at least in my opinion, I hope maybe the numbers say otherwise. I hope they don't nerf her anymore. I think she's in a good spot. She was highly picked in the SPL, but I don't necessarily know if she was like the top pick. Kind of hope not, in all honesty. But yeah, Smite's looking good, I would say, lads. Smite is looking nice and dandy. Lots of hype. Did I mention Tribdis is heterochromatic? Lads, heterochromatic. I hope you know what that is or means. Differently colored eyes, if you didn't know. And we all know how I feel about that one now, don't we? Hee hee ha ha ho ho. That guy over there is a god, is Smite, is Lolly, let's just say. Tribdis, little girl, let's fucking go, boys. Pog, 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 pog. That's such a meme. I really hope, no one's taking that one too seriously. Not only is it a fictional character in a video game, but it is literally like a myth, a legend, a god that is technically a monster. So I really hope that no one takes that bit seriously. Anyways, that being said, I would say that I've talked a lot so far, mostly me stuff in general, I would say. But I'd say, I'm in a good spot, life-wise. I do want to talk about some things that, you guys might not necessarily want to hear about. So I may or may not give a time code if you want to skip. But I just want to say that, I'm doing good overall, and I would say that, over this kind of period of maybe the last, I want to say three or four decompressions, maybe. I feel like I've, let me know if you think otherwise, but I feel like I've kind of refrained from Nate-based talk recently. In the recent past, I would say that, I've kind of been a little more reserved about kind of talking about that kind of thing. And I would say that, feel free to agree or disagree, but, over time, over this last year or so, year and a half, maybe probably over 2 years now, depending on how you want to interpret it, really. I feel like that, you guys, fans at home, feel free to criticize me. I'm very open to that kind of thing. It's just that, haven't I, despite everything, despite sincerity and cringe, haven't I been correct, right, for the most part, about the last, year and a half, almost 2 years now? Because, there's kind of been some developments that I'll, share or reshare with you guys. In the fact that, let's see if I actually still have the screenshots or not. There's been a lot of just generalized drama recently. Obviously, you guys know. I don't even need to say their name. You just already know, what kind of drama has developed and gone down and that kind of thing. But, there's been some kind of like other sort of micro under the radar kind of stuff. And obviously, people might not necessarily want to even think about that CC stuff. So, maybe you're, a little more willing to hear what I have to say about like, Nate-based stuff, I guess. I hope that, since I've refrained for a little while, you guys are okay with that sort of thing, because like there's been, like I said, some news, some developments. From a source publicly, Simsy in Bencord. They are a patron of Nate. They're kind of a Nate head, at least to me. They seem that way, even though I don't know. They seem like the me before the Ben arc. Before the leaving Nate arc and criticizing him a lot arc. Simsy said that Nate says in his new monthly cast that he's thinking about a new heavily structured podcast. So he's definitely not coming back to the PCP. He said, quote, "I've reached out to a couple of people who you probably know," end quote. Someone jokingly says, Mumkey and Asperger. Simsy said, who make, quote, interesting work. Simsy says, after the Canton debacle, we can be sure it'll be someone Nate doesn't know personally, and he won't move for it, lol. Simsy also states, he mentions that if he doesn't hit the money hard with the current videos, he might have to go get a job again and go back to speedy content. I don't know about you guys, but for the likely single digit or low double digit of you who actually keep up with this sort of thing, haven't I been right about this? Haven't I been mostly correct in my criticisms of Nate? How, he's unreliable. He's not very transparent. He doesn't hold to a timetable well. He often kind of shits on the fans, I would say. He, stopped his regular streams. He stopped being consistent. After all this, after all this, I find it very funny and strange if people still disagree at this point, right? Because the only reason I bring this up and that it's funny is because Simsy and another individual, Roxy, I believe, disagreed on this with me, which I was honestly in shock to see, personally. It was just kind of in Bencord passively when the topic was brought up. Was more so that, I'm trying to scroll back to get some more specifics for you guys, to be quite frank, but there was a disagreement, rather, where Simsy, you can just kind of tell that he's a little more of a Nate head, where, he responded to me and said that, he is a patron of Nate, and he said, quote, Nate at least releases a big video a month now, so that's something. Even though, lads, if you, actually have a brain and pay attention and aren't this much of a brainwashed Nate head, he's not releasing videos monthly. What kind of bullshit is that? It was literally 2 months between this last video and the one previous. The last video was, Mickle or whatever. Dumb video. I don't even know if I want to talk about Mickle. July 17th. The Kingdom Hearts one, May 29th. Almost 2 months, I believe, right? Yeah, between May and July. That was what, about 6 weeks, give or take. Yeah, hell, we can scroll back. So July 17th to whatever I said, May 29th. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's exactly 7 weeks, I would say. Don't know about you guys. More than a month. Don't know if you guys want to challenge that objective, literally objective, just factual information. I don't know why. Hoping you guys aren't real simsy in that regard. And by the way, it was over a month. Again, between the first part of the Kingdom Hearts video and the last one. And I would say that, obviously don't really want to dig too crazy or too schizo into it yet again, but I would say that, even some of his videos right before that, if you'll notice, probably, a month or less between some of them. But come on, guys. Some of these are clearly, not the, bigger, more Kino videos you were expecting. For example, the, videos past the last 3 were Gabby Gang, literal meme video, Winter 2021 anime, more or less. This is like a meme video. It's like a shorter meme video. I don't know. The video before that, the Dusa Experience, 1 minute and 20 second, basically literal meme video, literally clip from another video uploaded. Video before that was the Hades video, which it was literally a content video. It's not even a PG video. And then previous to that was anime and music, which, if you want to be charitable, consider that the last big BG video, previous to the Kingdom Hearts ones, 8 months ago. So there's almost 4 to 5 months between anime and music and the first Kingdom Hearts complete review. If you want to count a video or 2 in between there, maybe you want to count the winter anime one, that's fine. There was still a 4-month gap between the anime and music video and the anime, more or less, winter 2021 video. It's the same problem. Nothing has fundamentally changed. Nothing has, improved. Despite hiring an editor, despite, not having a job, it's just nothing has changed. And I would say that my criticism, for the most part, has also not changed. Mickle was a bad video that was rather self-explanatory, not succinct enough, almost an hour long. The fact that it had merch, kind of weird and borderline insulting. Some of the points that he made in that video, also insulting. I would say that there was maybe one self-aware joke and in this whole 56-minute video, which is really weird to see. And like I said, there's just a lot of general points to where it if I'm looking at the script, man, you're reading these words out, are you listening to what you're saying? Some of the statements made were just extremely ironic, extremely, hypocritical, and that's just kind of that. So that's why it is somewhat comedic to me, that, and I mean, it makes sense, really, that he might have to fucking go get a job again, really. It's quite funny, to be quite honest, that, nothing has changed, despite given over 2 years to do so of full-time YouTube. Nothing has changed. And, I basically been shitting on Nate for the last, 10-15 minutes. One of the worst parts, I'll keep saying this, one of the worst parts of Best Guy Ever is Best Guy Ever fans. Because people like Simsy think in their mind that he's quote-unquote releasing videos monthly for the past little while now, when, I just pay attention. Just have standards, people. Like, it's not hard, like this, like, he deserves all the criticism that he, and it shows. It not only is it like, you might think to yourself right now, oh, Sean, this is, you're being a dead horse. This criticism is pointless. It kind of isn't, though. Like, none of these videos are popping. Like, it is self-evident, what is wrong, what needs to be changed, and there's still just a refusal to do so. I would say that, one of the good eras, of BGE was these Miyamafavas, was these Wiagawas, even though, they didn't stick to schedule, the same fundamental problem. Even if you didn't like one, one could come out later, like sooner or later, that, you could enjoy, I would say. And for me personally, I would say on a deeper level, haven't enjoyed Best Guy Ever for almost 2 years now, I would say. I would say that, videos that were inspiring, insightful, gave good advice, that kind of thing, I would say it's been years since then. In my opinion, I would say that that's probably, a big, might not be a big deal, to him or others, but, there's been a serious lack of soul, in Best Guy Ever videos. Sometimes you get the glimmers of hope, the glimmers of greatness, like, in the Kingdom Hearts video, or maybe in the Ghost in the Shell video, that there is potential. There is, if he's just a little more concise in the Gits video, it's probably considered a great video. It's probably considered a best anime or best series, video. If the Kingdom Hearts videos were like Wiagawas, like if they were released, fairly quickly, not a year late, they would probably be considered, good videos, I would say, in my opinion. I mean, I would, if you disagree, feel free to comment again. Some of these videos, it's just so crystal clear to me which ones are, there's either, like, a lot of effort, the quality of the work shows a lot of the time, but it just makes me wonder, like, there really is a stark contrast. Wouldn't you agree? There's a stark contrast between winter 2021 anime, more or less, and, like, the Kingdom Hearts, videos, or Gits Best Series Ever, or just how about this, a more recent good video, Why Smash Matters, right? I mean, I would say that, nothing like crazy insightful or, like, personal to get from a video like that, other than kind of like proving a point, really. That video has 94,000 views, and that is more than every single video after it. And I don't know what else to say, I guess. I guess it's probably time to move on. It's probably more of a welcome change if he goes back to getting some kind of job. He's probably, it might be better for the Best Guy Ever channel. Who knows? Let's just say. But despite everything, I will keep doing my own thing. And I'll shift topics away from this for now. I want to let you guys know I did Bing some other things. I binged the Shadow of Israphel series that I'd never watched before up until then. I would say that was a unique experience. It really was. I can see the some of the glimmers of Kino, in the Shadow of Israphel series, and why people adored it so much. Kind of implementing this almost RPG aspect and kind of like playing these characters in the setting of Minecraft was kind of like novel for its time, really. So I really like Shadow of Israphel. The only problem really was that it had a disappointing ending, and it really didn't end. We just got completely blue-balled to the point where I almost consider it like kind of mid, like kind of like not great because of some of the developments, like Knight Peculiar dying, right? I would say his backstory was like actually like good, and then he just died like not too long after, and that's just not even taking into consideration, like I said, the series just getting canceled basically. And see, now I'm rewatching Tekkit because I love Tekkit, but it kind of has the same problem. It does this sort of weird thing where like once the goal was accomplished, they just like decided to keep going or something, and then there was like another server or more mods, and like shit broke at some point. It almost makes me. I mean, it is really inspiring, though, I would say. I would say that the Yogscast, Minecraft, story-driven series were pretty inspiring. Like I feel like someone could do this. I feel like I could do this. We get a Minecraft server with people. We can discuss it. On our Discords or whatever. Have like a general people just all have their own series, but like. When we want to intersect, maybe like there's like story beats, we want to hit or that kind of thing, I would say. And yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Shadow of Israphel and Tekkit, which I'm going through right now. Tekkit's just such a blast, man. I wouldn't mind playing Tekkit. I'm notoriously, anti-mod for Minecraft, but I would I was going to say tell and say at the same time, but it didn't make sense. I will say that, despite my anti-modness, Tekkit's probably one of the few mods that I would, accept. Because a lot of, what they did with, the pipes and the quarries and the magic and stuff, it felt relatively balanced. Shit like EMC, equivalent exchange, alchemy, all that stuff, honestly seemed kind of based. I would say that that's something, who knows, I might do in the far off future, for all I know. But yeah, like I said, I kind of admire sort of like the Tekkit thing and what the Yogscast did, that server, and to be frank with you guys, I'm still a Yogscast head. I'm still keeping up with them, to this day. I enjoy their TTT and other, kind of like Among Us and other videos, they play other games as well, like TTT adjacent, that kind of thing. And it is kind of like passive content, really, content I can just, eat some lunch to or whatever. And, kind of it's just shorter. It's just 15 to 20 minute, videos. And, the Yogscast, they're more streamers at this point, if we're being honest with ourselves. They're much better suited for that kind of thing. They have their whole studio office set up. I would say that that's definitely something that benefits them. It kind of makes me wonder, are they the logical conclusion of something or akin to the PCP or any other kind of smaller group, really? Because I don't know, another thing about the Yogscast too is they're the oldies. They're the Ye Old Goon Squad, They were around for posting videos about WoW and stuff, it's pretty crazy, at least to me. But yeah, still a Yogger till this day. I was watching the Tekkit series as it was coming out, and I've probably rewatched it 2, 3, maybe 4 times by now, because it's just that good, that enjoyable to watch. Using shit like the Destruction Catalyst and whatnot. It's just fucking Kino. And watching them have little squabbles with Sipsco and them wondering just little things about the server, like Rithian's LP. I kind of want to rewatch that one again, and like I remember that one being really nostalgic, and like that one was like a lot more like story and like character driven, which is like pretty interesting too. You like kind of like you played a mentor mage character to like Zoe and whatnot. And, like that stuff was like really interesting, man. I feel like who's doing that shit anymore? Like I guess you could say one of the logical evolutions is like SMP and like that kind of thing, but I don't know. All that stuff is like live Twitch videos. None of them are like these classic let's play, 15 to 20 to maybe to like upwards of like 30-minute videos of just parts of like going through your Tekkit series, like progressing. There's like sort of natural progression, like I really like that sense. Like there's always something to do in Tekkit, like there's such a big build up really to like their, red matter and flying rings and all that stuff and nano armor. It kind of reminds me of Civ. Man, I really got to play a Civ game sometime this year. I've done some board game civing, to be honest, but I really like computer Civ too. I have over 1,000 hours in Civ 5. I got pretty hooked on that game on my family computer, which is why I have so many hours logged on it. One of the main things I did, almost certainly, like coming home from school some of the days, I would say big Civ fan, big Civ head for sure. And as you guys know, actually, I posted a quick video about that for Damage Bendo, if you remember that. Who knows? I'll probably think about doing some kind of daily thing next year again. I would say that if I am to mirror or learn something from Nate, at least in a better fashion, would be to not skip your daily challenge thing 2 years in a row. I would say that it's probably not a crazy good idea. Maybe try to get a better camera between now and then too, as well. It's probably a goal, long-term goal of mine, I would say, to make videos in that regard. Maybe honestly, even an even better webcam, probably. I would say would probably be worth that investment. I should try to look up what NL did, because I know that he has like a good webcam setup. I don't know. That being said, I've been going all over the place here. Let's focus in on a couple more topics, and then I'll wrap up here. I would say that in addition to cleaning your room, drinking your water, I just hope that you guys are staying healthy out there. It's very hot. I would say that try to keep yourselves going. Do a good job. Stay cool. Keep your AC on. I know that I'm having some struggles with that. It getting into the 90s and maybe even hundreds, I think, over the last month. It's pretty insane. Had some scary, gnarly power outages as well. I'll admit that sometimes this is a new thing I've started. Done a little challenge. Done a little like personal improvement sort of challenge. Get fit with your boys. It is a Apex challenge, Apex based. So we're kind of doing like a little, do a set, do a set or two of something. Whenever you lose an entire match of arena, or if you die in BR, obviously you do like only one or half a set if you lose in BR, because that typically happens more and faster. I would say I'm not the greatest BR player. I'm way better at arenas. I have like a 0.5 higher KDA in arenas. My average everything just way better in arenas. And even though arenas haven't even been out for that long, I have more damage in it as well. More like lifetime damage and all that kind of thing. But yeah, Apex has been fun with the boys. Another thing that's been fun with the boys, Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider has been a blast to watch. Kamen Rider Kabuto specifically, considered one of, I believe at least, I was told, secondhand information, that it's one of the more Kino ones. Something I've vastly enjoyed. Something I've, it's just been so based, honestly, so based in Red Pill. Like, it has a, like, even though some aspects of it, are, not the best, it has that charm. It just has that, like, early 2000s, like, live action-y charm, really. It's like, yeah, Kamen Rider Kabuto, absolutely based. We're out here, we're clocking up, boys. We're clocking up, and we're going off. Yeah, that's it, though. I blew through all my talking points. Actually, one more thing. That's it. I know this is another repeated Sean bit, really, but, thanks again for all the views, all the subs, all the likes, all the support. Channel's been popping off still. I don't remember what I said last time. I think it was like 40 something. That video, for whatever reason, it's like 65,000 views or something. Like, freaking crazy. Thanks. Like, holy shit. And that being said, yeah. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, bell, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on the DecompresSean Cast. Bye.